Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tech Minds. I'm Kevin, your host, and I'm not here to sell you the future. In this space, we ask the questions you'd rather ignore. We open the files most people keep encrypted. We take technology personally. Tonight's episode, you won't like what AI sees in you. Let's talk about surveillance, not the camera on the pole, not your smart speaker. Let's talk about the code that studies you, profiles you, predicts you. Because here's the thing no one wants to admit. I doesn't just observe, it decides. But who trained it to see you this way?
This podcast is entirely fictional and AI generated. All guests are anonymous and represent composite identities. Opinions expressed do not represent any company or individual and are intended for informational and reflective purposes only.
My guest today is E, that's what we'll call them. E worked in AI ethics. They agreed to talk, anonymously, about what happens when AI doesn't just judge your resume, but your face, your voice, your patterns. Let's plug in. E, welcome to Tech Minds. We'll keep your identity wrapped, but your words wide open.
Thanks, Kevin. Honestly, it's strange to be speaking openly again, even under an alias. Artificial intelligence makes over 6 million decisions about us every day, but here's what keeps me up at night. It's not just analyzing our data, it's judging us based on biases we didn't even know we programmed into it.
Well, that's a terrifying thought. What exactly do you mean by that?
Let me let me share something. I once discovered our company's hiring algorithm was rejecting incredibly qualified candidates for seemingly no reason. These were people with perfect credentials, stellar experience, all the right skills, but the AI kept saying no,
That doesn't make any sense, though. If they had all the right qualifications, what could possibly be the problem?
right? That's what I thought too. But then I realized the AI had been trained on historical hiring data, which basically meant it was replicating decades of bias. It was looking for candidates who matched past hires, mostly white male Ivy League.
So, you're telling me we've basically taught machines to discriminate just like humans do?
Yeah, exactly. And what's worse, these systems do it faster, with more confidence and behind layers of code. They're used for everything from loan approvals to healthcare to, God, even prison sentencing.
Well, that's actually terrifying when you think about how many of these systems might be affecting our lives right now.
Totally. And here's something personal. I once ran my own face through a behavioral AI system just out of curiosity. I was exhausted after a long day, and bam, it flagged me as agitated, labeled me a potential threat.
Hold on, so the AI couldn't even distinguish between different cultural expressions of fatigue versus aggression?
Not at all. And I mean, I'm Middle Eastern, so yeah, think about that in an airport or a courtroom. It's not just flawed, it's dangerous.
Wow. You know what's really concerning me now? I'm wondering about all the times I might have been assessed by AI without even knowing it.
Exactly. That's the scary part. Like these systems are everywhere making decisions about our lives, and we have no idea when we're being evaluated or based on what criteria. Recent studies suggest the average person is analyzed by AI systems over 50 times per day.
But surely there must be some kind of oversight for something this powerful and widespread?
You'd think, right? But no. Technology is being developed and deployed so quickly that meaningful regulation hasn't kept pace. When I raised a red flag, I got silence, pressure, legal warnings. I had to back off.
So what's the solution here? Do we need to completely stop using AI for these kinds of decisions?
I don't think stopping is the answer, but we've got to rethink everything. Start with auditing, diverse training data, external reviews. But here's the catch. Only about 15% of major tech companies currently have any formal AI ethics review process.
Well, that seems like an alarmingly low number given how much these systems affect our daily lives.
Right. And here's what really keeps me up at night. These systems don't need to be conscious or malicious to cause harm. They just need to be following flawed instructions that we gave them. Recent research showed that AI systems were up to 70% more likely to flag minorities as high risk in various assessment scenarios.
So, in a way, these AI systems are just holding up a mirror to our own societal biases?
Yeah, but like a funhouse mirror. They're amplifying those biases at an unprecedented scale and speed, and it's all happening behind closed doors, protected as proprietary technology. Some estimates suggest that by 2025, over 85% of customer interactions will be managed by AI without human intervention.
You know, I've been thinking about facial recognition lately. My phone uses it, my laptop uses it, even my gym uses it to check members in. Should I be worried about all of that?
That's a great question. The thing is, facial recognition is just the tip of the iceberg. These systems analyze your voice, your posture, even tiny gestures. Some claim to read 50 behavioral cues in seconds. It's intense.
Well, that's unsettling. How accurate can that really be? I mean, period. I sound different when I'm tired or excited or talking to my mom versus my boss.
Exactly. And that's part of the problem. These systems are often trained on very limited data sets that don't account for cultural differences, accents, or even just natural variations in how people express themselves. One study found that emotion recognition AI was up to 40% less accurate for non Western expressions.
So, what can regular people do about something this systemic?
Push for transparency, ask questions, demand disclosures. We need laws that tell us when AI is judging us and give us the right to challenge that. Some advocacy groups are pushing for an AI disclosure law that would require companies to inform you when AI is making decisions about you.
That makes sense. Like, we can't fix problems we don't even know exist.
Right. And silence isn't neutral, it's compliance. We need to ask who trained these systems and why do they see us the way they do?
You know what's fascinating? I came into this conversation worried about AI, but now I'm more concerned about the human decisions behind it.
That's exactly right. The real question isn't just what AI sees in us, it's why we taught it to look at people this way in the first place, and what that reveals about our own biases and prejudices. You know, up to 95% of AI biases can be traced back to human decisions in the development process. And
It's like we're building a digital version of all our worst instincts and then letting it make important decisions about people's lives.
yep. And what's worse, it's learning faster than we're correcting it. Some of these models can predict future behavior with up to 80% accuracy based on your browsing history, your clicks.
That's incredibly invasive. But I guess we're all kind of complicit in this, right? We agree to all those terms and conditions without reading them.
Exactly. Convenience wins. And now we're here. Most people unknowingly agree to AI analysis over 100 times a year.
So what's the end game here? Where does all this lead?
That's the $1 million question. If we continue on this path, we could end up in a world where AI systems have enormous power over our opportunities and life choices, all based on biased assumptions and flawed data. But there's hope. Some companies are now implementing ethical AI frameworks that require regular audits and diverse input in development.
Well, that's at least somewhat encouraging. What should we be watching for in the next few years?
Keep an eye on AI transparency laws, bias detection tools, and how companies respond when the public finally pushes back. This isn't just tech, it's society.
And it seems like that future is coming whether we're ready or not.
Exactly. The question isn't if AI will judge us, it already does. The question is, will we have a say in how?
Do you miss it? The tools, the labs, the illusion of progress?
Sometimes there's a rush to being on the cutting edge, but if that edge is cutting the wrong people, what's the point?
What scares you more than AI?
People who never question it.
What do you think AI sees in you now?
A dropout, a disruption, a risk.
Then I'm glad you showed up.
Me too. I just hope someone's listening.
I doesn't need to be conscious to shape the world. It doesn't need evil intent, just flawed instructions. We taught it to judge, but not to understand. We built systems to predict us, but not protect us. If you don't like what AI sees in you, maybe it's time to ask who taught it to look and what kind of future we're letting it build.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay, even though this is a very interesting topic and we could be here all day talking about it, for today we've come to an end. Thank you, E, for your time and all the knowledge you shared with us today.
Thank you, Kevin, for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to share this with you and the listeners.
This was Tech Minds. I'm Kevin. Our guest was E. We'll be back soon with another story, another pattern, another mind. Until then, stay curious, stay critical, stay human.